Good afternoon. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us as we go over our white gloves guaranteed seminar options, no upfront costs, and a special offer for our exclusive to IAMS agents. My name is Tim Watts. I'm one of the annuity sales directors here at IAMS. Before we turn it over to Brad from White Glove, I have some important information to share about who we are at IAMS and a quick highlight of why our agents love working with our team. We strive to have best-in-class customer service, and you can always reach an in-life person during our business hours at 800-255-5055. We will have a few polls during the webinar, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in those questions. We'll definitely make sure that we get those answered at the end of the presentation. Our new producer builders are, for those of you who are new to us at IAMS, these bonuses are available based on your production level in the first 180 days of contracting with us. We have great levels that you can qualify at, and as you can see, inside each level are some great options for you. We've got incredible business building tools, personal perks for you, and even cash rewards. If you would like to know where you stand towards your new producer builder, or if you would like to have a conversation about how to achieve that next level, please give us a call or talk to your sales director. Moving on to business builders programs, we are going to see our referred producer program. You can see a couple advisors with us that have taken advantage of this program already. Our business on the wholesale side of the industry is similar to yours in the field, in that one of the best leads we could ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued producers. This is why we want to make it worth your while to refer a producer to us. That being said, when you do refer a producer over to us and they get contracted, we cut you a $50 thank you check. Where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, you will receive an override on that business. Our ownership team, Steve Murray, Charles Hearing, and Curtis Hawk, sign checks for thousands of dollars every quarter. If you can think of anyone that could benefit from doing business with our team, please email their information into the question box, or you can email it to me at timw@imsinc.com. Give me that information, and we'll be sure to reach out to them. Below is our marketing reimbursement program, which is our most popular program that we offer. For every $100,000 in fixed indexed annuity premium, you get $100 in your marketing reimbursement account. Why this is so popular and lucrative is for our advisors, is we truly do consider this to be your money. So we don't cap your account, we don't mandate where you spend the funds, or tell you where you have to cash that account. It's your marketing reimbursement for you to use when you want to. We don't tell you which vendors you have to use, but we do recommend vendors that we partner with and leverage reduced rates and preferred services. We also have our creative team to create a marketing strategy and provide in-house services. If you'd like to know more how much is in your marketing reimbursement account, or to have a conversation with us about how on how to utilize it, give your sales director a call. We would love to discuss that with you. Back office support. This is just another way that we add value to your business. This is the core of IAMS and how Charles founded us 36 years ago. We want to help the independent advisor work smarter, not harder. We're going to do that with great business building tools and resources. Of course, advanced case design assistance, life and annuity quotes that we make a 24 turnaround guarantee to you on. We're going to get you those illustrations that you request within 24 hours of that request. For those of you who have worked with us in the past, you do know that we typically get to that much sooner than that 24 hours. Submissions to commission support is handled by our new business teams. Amber Williams heads up the annuity side, and Cindy Fried is over on life. They have fantastic teams who work tirelessly to help you get commissioned quicker. We will scrub your applications, submit them on your behalf, do all the administrative tracking, and get you the updates on the case as needed. We do this to ensure that you get commissioned as quickly as possible. This is a service that we provide to our valued producer and how we help grow your business by keeping you in front of clients while our team handles the back office support for you. Firelight eApps. This is a single sign-in at IAMSinc.com. Technology is where the industry is going, and Firelight is a top-notch site streamlining the application process. Most of our carriers are on the eApp platform, so you can go onto our site, just log into one site, and submit that business over eApp. It is COVID-friendly, and some carriers are going to eApp only for some of their product lines, and will also offer extra comp for utilizing the eApp platform. Make sure you ask your sales director before you submit a paper app if you can earn more money by doing an eApp. Utilizing our Firelight platform accelerates the application process substantially. The eApp platform helps you submit business in good order the first time. This also reduces the processing time of your business and gets you paid quicker. As I mentioned previously, this is a single sign-on with IAMS. We have integrated our business with Firelight so you can have the most efficient and effective way to submit business. I actually talked to an agent last week who submitted business on Tuesday and had a commission check in his account on Thursday that week. So extremely quick and efficient there. IAMS website. We do have full in-house. We do have a full in-house creative team that can help you and your practice, and a lot of items are turnkey and available for you. We can simply impose your contact information and your business logos onto it. Speaking of your logos, agency solutions are something that we are very good at, and something that if you haven't created a full customized brand for you and your agency, we can help. This is going to assist you with the name recognition, which grows your natural market organically. We can get your logo designed and imposed on business cards, brochures, and stationery. Lastly, what everyone is currently looking for, digital marketing solutions. We can help you with those websites, social media marketing, email marketing. We're here and can help out with all of those to assist you. The internet and social media sites are where the overwhelming majority of prospects go to for get information. Making sure you're accessible and representative in those marketing lanes is beneficial to growing your business. Speak to myself or one of our sales directors when this webinar concludes, so you can learn about how IAMS Creative can help get this ball rolling for you. Our website is a great tool for our producers to use and another reason to work with IAMS. Once you are contracted, you have full access to everything you see on this slide and so much more. If you haven't registered for the website, it's very simple to do. When we're done with this call, go ahead and create an account. We'd love to see you on there. There's a lot of great tools available to you, including illustration tools, forms online, product grids, product news. We also post industry updates and weekly rate updates on our website. We founded IAMS Wealth 4 years ago. What we've done is grow this division on IAMS very organically. We've helped advisors become IARs and pass their Series 65 at a very successful clip. Once we have you registered, we will bring great value to your practice with an incredibly competitive fee structure for both you and your clientele. We have great technology and a great investment platform. This has been a major growth sector of our business, and assets under management could be a major growth sector for you and your business as well. All right, I do have a poll for you now, so if you could scroll over here and help me out with that. So would you like to learn more about the next IAMS Annuities and Life Academy? So we will be hosting an Annuity Academy this September 14th to 16th, so that's coming up next week. This one will be held in Omaha, Nebraska, which is where our home office is at. These two-day trainings are an excellent opportunity for our agents who are looking for new ways to grow their business. These are events that are IAMS does pay for these academies and gives you an opportunity to learn and network with top producers. They will go over marketing strategies that we've used to help people double and triple their business. Definitely highly recommend that you get registered. And hot off the press, we're actually going to have another academy, going to be November 2nd through 4th. So going to go ahead and close this poll out here, give you a quick 10 seconds to get those last second votes in. All right. All right, now I've got another question, another poll question here for you, and that is, are you currently happy? Are you happy with your current IMO? One of the benefits of working with IAMS is trips like this. We're currently in qualification period for a great trip to Park City, Utah. We do have an update that as of November 1st to the end of the year, we're going to be doubling all points earned for this Athene trip. Now is a great time to see where you're at and make a plan to qualify for this awesome opportunity. If you have already contracted with IAMS and sold Athene with us, would like to know where you stand, definitely do not hesitate to reach out at 800-255-5055 and talk to your sales director to see where you're at on that. I'm going to give this poll about another quick 10 seconds here, and then I'll close this out. Just got a couple more slides here, and then we're going to be turning it over to Brad. We put a lot of great stuff on our social media platforms. Go out there and like us on Facebook and connect with us on LinkedIn. We're sending out links and information on the webinars that you see like this every day, including industry updates and great tools for you. All right, I'm going to check and see. Going to go ahead and change this over to Brad. Thank you, everybody, for going through that presentation, their intro presentation about IAMS. Excited to kick this over to Brad. There you go, sir.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Let me pick the right screen here so you guys get to see the get the presentation and not my email. Everybody see that all right? Good to go? All right. Appreciate it, guys.
I can see ya.
What we're going to cover today is kind of really high level about White Glove, how we partner with IAMS and some of the really cool programs we have going on with them. I kind of give you guys some exclusive discounts, exclusive offerings. Before I get into that, I do want to just mention that I've been out to a few of those annuity trainings that IAMS hosts, and they're absolutely phenomenal. I know a lot of advisors get a ton of tips and learning and training out of those things, and I've had the opportunity to be out there and kind of see that firsthand. So if you have an opportunity to take them up on that, I fully recommend that you do it. There's some really excellent top advisors giving some very useful information that you can take away and see a change in your business. So they didn't ask me to promote that or anything. I've just been there and I know it works. So definitely join that if you can. So White Glove, you know, in a nutshell, we are a marketing service and a kind of a full service event planning company. And a few things that make us different is, you know, that we're founded by advisors. We do all of the work. We take the financial risk when it comes to hosting seminars, and then we actually guarantee your success, which is, you know, kind of an industry disruptor. We've been around since 2015, end of 2015, beginning of 2016. But it's been a wild ride here, getting, you know, up to near 700 events in person every single month all across the country. So one of the things that you guys get when you're working with IAMS is a dedicated rep that works very closely with the IAMS team, who works with a lot of their top producers. Don't tell her I used her high school graduation photo. She'll be very mad. But Heather Wilson is one of the top coaches here that we have and consultants here at White Glove. She works with some of the most successful advisors in the country, and she has personally helped organize thousands of seminars and successful webinars for advisors, as well as helping them convert more attendees into actual appointments. So she is the dedicated rep for IAMS, and you can shoot her an email right there. We're going to have a offer here at the end of the webinar. If you haven't used White Glove yet and you want to try us out, that Heather will get you set up with a pretty special offer, and all you have to do is shoot her an email and say, hey, I'm interested, I'm from IAMS, and she'll take care of you and get you all those details. So, before we talk about that, let's talk about what White Glove actually is. And there's 4 key things that make us different. There's plenty of options out there of how you can market a seminar, but very few options out there of a company that actually plans a seminar, and no options where outside of us that the marketing company is the one taking all the risks. So how we kind of came up with this idea is, quite simply, we're built by advisors. Dean Thurman, Mike Thurman, Jeff, they've built a very successful practice. They're still active advisors today. They manage near $1 billion in assets. And, over the last 30 years, they saw tremendous growth all through hosting seminars, all educational. They never bought a steak, never put out a piece of cheesecake, all at local libraries and community centers. And they've done thousands and thousands of seminars to get up to that, $1 billion mark. And one of the things that constantly came back to is, man, we kind of hate this. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of risk involved. There's a lot of event planning. It's kind of like planning these big birthdays or miniature weddings, we like to say. And, we're in Detroit, anything could happen. Traffic could be terrible. There could be a snowstorm in July. There could be a global pandemic that shuts down every single library and community center. But ultimately, they went searching for a marketing company that would have their backs, that could be partners with them, that could help them coordinate and plan events. And when they couldn't find one, they thought, well, hey, why don't we just make one? And then the kind of evolution from there was, well, how do we make this better? How do we make this an irresistible offer? How do we make it to partner with advisors? And that's really, what led to the evolution of our services. Is we came out with a seminar service where you paid after the event. You only paid on those who attended. And best part of all is you got to be an advisor. You got to talk to clients, you got to work with prospects. You didn't have to be a marketer. You didn't have to be an event planner. White Glove took all of that work off your plate. And that very simple business model of, hey, we do all the work, we take all the risk, and oh, by the way, we know what the heck we're doing, so we're actually going to guarantee you pick up a client. That disrupted the industry. There was nobody like us out there in 2016. And we very quickly went from, a handful of us in a basement of their financial firm to 130 employees, doing 700 in-person seminars every single month. February of 2020, we did 700. In March of 2020, we did 0. A lot like many of you, we had to decide if we were willing to adapt our business or ride it out with the status quo. And that's an easy question for us. We always are looking to innovate and be on the cutting edge. So the very first thing we did was we rolled out webinars. We could find the ideal prospects. We could invite them to a seminar. Why can't we invite them to a webinar? We did that very quickly. In March, actually, we hosted our first series of webinars, and I'll tell you what, it was pretty awful. There was a big learning curve, both from us and the advisors. We quickly found out that if you're a good seminar presenter, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a great webinar presenter. And advisors tried it and saw very little success. We were able to get high quality people to attend. The data, our wealth data, our third-party data showed that, yep, these are high quality people that are attending, but they weren't booking appointments, and the tech was clunky, and even the most experienced tech wizard, we'd run into issues with technology just crashing, or the audio goes out or anything. Actually, super embarrassing. We did a webinar to our entire database in March announcing that White Glove now offers webinars, and we had so many advisors on it that it crashed our audio. So I was sitting here talking like this. We got all these advisors writing in like, hey, I thought you guys would supposed to be this big professional webinar company. You can't even run your own. So, tech happens to us all. But the point of all that being is we very quickly said, you know what, this webinar thing can work because the right people are attending, but we have to step up our game on how we help advisors. And the first thing that we did was we took all the technology off their plates. We said, we're going to run the webinar. We're going to record it ahead of time. We're going to play it as it's live. We're going to run polls and pop-ups. to keep that engagement. We're going to push the advisor's calendar link throughout the webinar and where we see it's most beneficial to do so. And ultimately, take all of the risk of the webinar platform going down, or the audio not working, or the advisor not pushing the button when they're supposed to, or even having a quality close when they're supposed to. We took that all off the advisor's plate and said, hey, we're going to help you with that. And we had a handful of advisors that really adapted and started crushing it with webinars. One gentleman, I'm going to talk about him here in a few minutes. He did more than 150 webinars with us since. And we just went to these advisors and we said, hey, can you give us your secret sauce? And they said, well, I can't give it to you, but I'll sell it to you. And we said, okay, whatever it costs, let's just do it. And we contracted with advisors seeing success. We put it into a virtual platform so advisors can come on and learn when they sign up and do webinars with us. And that was what launched our White Glove University. And so really now we've come back full circle. 2022, we're back to doing in-person stuff. Probably about 60% of our events right now are in person. 40% are still virtual. We're still doing webinars because advisors are seeing success at scaling. They're seeing success at being able to go watch their kids' baseball game while they're booking appointments. And ultimately what we found is either service that you're using, if you have credibility on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, if you have a drip sequence set up through your emails and campaigns running out to everybody that maybe didn't show up for the seminar, or even a prospect that went to a seminar in 2017 or registered for your radio show or anything like that, the advisors that had the social media and the email components set with relevant content going out, those were the ones seeing massive success. And coincidentally, those are all things that we're really, really good at. These are things that we do when we host seminars. So we launched our White Glove One platform, which is kind of like the VIP platform for White Glove. Comes with a ton of bells and whistles, but ultimately it also runs your social media and email campaigns for you. And that kind of comes full circle from we started as a seminar company, we evolved to offering webinars, and now we're helping with the after event services as well, because the theme is let White Glove do all the work, you just talk to your clients. So real quickly before we get into any of the nitty gritty details here, so this is Kurt Stahl. He's a pretty good friend of mine now. But he came to us in 2016. He was with another advisor. He'd only been in the industry for 3 years. He went out on his own, opened his own practice, and he spent most of his marketing budget launching his new practice on other services. And he was not seeing success. And I'll tell the story that he had $4,000 left of what he told his family he would spend on marketing before he had to maybe rethink his business decision. And so he came to us and he said, you know what, for this $4,000, I need to be in front of people. I can't hope that something that'll work. I'm going to give it to White Glove. I'm going to stand in front of people. And since then, he's kind of never looked back. We're the only seminar company he uses. We're the only marketing company he uses. And in his first year with us, he got 3-to-1 ROI, which is fantastic. Depending on your business model, obviously, depends on how quickly you get that ROI. But for your first year doing seminars and new to the business, 3-to-1 ROI is fantastic. But looking back now, every single household that we put in front of him, he's got a 15-to-1 ROI with White Glove. And if you add in the referrals that he's gotten from those attendees, or the additional revenue that he's brought in from our ongoing efforts with his social media and his email, he actually has a 23-to-1 ROI. Now that's 6 years into the system, but every single dollar he's spent with us, he's gotten 23 back. And this is what it can do to a practice. His first full year in the business, he had 4 million of total production. Last year, he did 56 million in total production. And this is all just using the systems that White Glove does for him. And what's great about Kurt is he's very open to our suggestions. If we say, hey, this is working really well, Kurt, he says, okay, I'll do that. And this is really working, okay, I'll do that. He kind of begrudgingly came into webinars. He very begrudgingly allowed us to run his Facebook, but these are things that he committed to over the long term, and he's got that 23-to-1 ROI now. So, we're built by advisors. We understand the pain points that you guys go through, and I sit in the board meetings, all our executive meetings. We have 3, 4, 5 advisors in there every time that are giving their opinions of, hey, this is how things should work. This is what I need. We run all of our crazy ideas through the founder's investment firm first. We actually test it out on them. I like to say they're our guinea pigs. They prefer to be called the test track. I think it's one and the same really, but what we do is we see if it works from a marketing perspective, but that's not enough for us to roll it out to the general public or to advisors. What we need is for them to be able to write business off of it. If they can do that, then we say, okay, this is what we should be offering out to advisors. We're not interested in showing you our efforts. We're interested in getting you results. So what does it mean when we do all of the work? First, if you're coming to us for seminars, what we really want you to do is say, hey, this is the time frame I want it in. This is how many households I want to stand in front of, and this is where my general, this is the general area where my best prospects come from. I'd love to have more clients in this area. And then you go back to being an advisor. Like that's it. You go back to being an advisor. We use the data that we've done 30,000 seminars to say this venue works best, this time of day works best, this is the topic that will pull in your desired audience. We'll talk to you on the topic, obviously, to make sure that you're comfortable presenting on it, but it's basic stuff, right? Taxes, estate planning, Social Security. But we use that data and say, okay, here you go. And then we actually get to work researching, booking that top performing venue. It's not going to be the sparkling country club down the road or at a golf course. It's going to be at a community center or a library. If you absolutely want to serve food, you can book a steakhouse, but 90% of our events, we don't serve food. There's no cheesecake, there's no steak. It's just come to the local library, sometimes the dingy local library, because it's all about credibility of the event being educational, right? You want to invite people to a place they've never been sold anything at. So that's why those venues work really, really well. But we'll research it, we'll book it, we show it to you, say, hey, how does this work for you? There's no upcharge, there's no booking charge. If the library costs $50, we charge you $50 for the library after our seminar. But we'll secure it, we'll do all the contracting, we'll get any insurance, we'll check all their COVID policies, we do all of that for you. And then we handle all the marketing. So we're going to invite people to your seminar. We're going to grab those registrations. We use all digital means to do that in a variety of locations, apps like Nextdoor or Facebook or LinkedIn, Google, AdWords, those types of things. And ultimately, when we pull their information, then we follow up with them, emails, human beings picking up the phone, calling them from our office here, and text messages as well, because you only pay for the households that attend. So the onus is on us to wrestle those registrants into actual attending. So you get to set your budget, you tell us how many households you want, and then we get to work doing everything else. All we really want you focused on is learning that presentation so it can be very high converting. With webinars, it gets a little bit easier than that. You don't even have to show up at the library and set up seats. All you have to do is record it. You're going to send it to us. We're going to audit it and say, hey, you nailed this part, you didn't really hit this part, your closing was good, but it wasn't great. Here's some suggestions. You get that training from our top advisors, so you can actually watch their webinars to see how they do it. And then once we have that high converting recording from you, often advisors have to record it twice. But once we have that, now you go back to being an advisor, and all you have to do is work the appointments that come off that webinar when we run it for you. So we put live tech support on every event, making sure people can log in, pushing the polls, the pop-ups, the calendar out throughout. You're absolutely welcome to have yourself or one of your staff be on the webinar and answer chat questions live. And oftentimes advisors do that for the first handful of them, and then they kind of maybe have their assistant on for the rest of them, and then they go back to having their nights and weekends and evenings all to themselves and their family. So it's a very easy process to kind of set up a very unique lead funnel with webinars. So this gentleman here, he's that advisor that if he could do 50 seminars, he wanted 75. He could do 75 seminars, he wanted 100. And he was constantly fighting saturation in his backyard because he was doing so much volume, trying to bring more and more people in. And he actually had a whole month's worth of seminars booked with us in March of 2020. And he'll tell the story where he actually did a seminar in the morning. He had another seminar for that evening in the same location. He was walking out of the library. He said, okay, I'll see you tonight. And the receptionist said, oh, no, you won't. We're closed. And he said, well, what do you mean you're closed? And she said, you didn't hear? There's a global pandemic. And he was like, what? And just like that, every event from White Glove got canceled that month. And he was one of the gentlemen that was planning on doing about 5 or 6 more seminars with us that month. What we did was we pivoted over to webinars. He was the first one to raise his hand and said, hey, I got to get in front of people. So he started doing webinars with us. The first 5 that he did, he got 0 results. No appointments booked, got a bunch of quality leads, but nobody raising their hand to say, hey, I want to meet with you. This is important. And, very easily he could have said, webinars don't work. I'm going to wait out COVID and see what happens. Instead, he really doubled down. He figured out, White Glove's doing their job. They're bringing high quality people to listen to what I have to say. I need to change what I'm saying so that they book meetings. Since then, he's done actually more than 150 webinars with us, and his average conversion rate is about 5% of attendees into a client. That client is typically worth $1.4 million. If you think about that, a person with $1.4 million in assets is regularly attending a webinar and being a client with this gentleman. So his average first year revenue, not counting the next 14 years that they're going to be a client with him, but his average first year revenue is $24,000 for every single webinar he runs, and he's going to do another 150 of those in the next 12 months. So it's allowed him to scale. He works all across the country. He's hired sub reps everywhere, and he still gets to have dinner at home with the family every night. So that's something that you really have to become comfortable with one of 2 things when it comes to virtual presentations and meeting clients virtually. You either have to be comfortable with learning how to do it, adapt, have those conversations, present virtually, or you have to be comfortable with one of your competitors potentially talking to your ideal client right in your backyard. Because much like this gentleman here, there's many advisors out there that have adapted successfully virtually, and they're hosting webinars everywhere, and they're filling up because there's always going to be a subset of your ideal prospect base that now wants to meet virtually, that now wants to learn through a webinar as opposed to coming down to the library. So just think about that. If you've tried webinars in the past, maybe didn't have luck, that's okay, but we can definitely help get you on the right path if you want to try them again. Again, this is just our host university. Brad is one of the coaches that's in there. It's an on-demand library that you can learn at your own pace, but we also do exclusive live events where we bring in industry coaches like Frank Maselli, Deirdre Van Nest, and we also do advisor roundtables where other members get on, have good conversations with each other of what's working, what's not working, obstacles that they've overcome. And we'll also have an opportunity for you guys to get White Glove University totally for free if you shoot Heather a message here by the end of this webinar when you're watching the recording. So one thing of note, the kind of the theme of this is, hey, we're a little bit different than everybody else. One of the things that we do differently is when we market an event, we are marketing it under an educational brand. Those educational brands over the last 6+ years have developed credibility on their own. They've got 5-star ratings from Facebook. They're rated by the Better Business Bureau. When a potential client sees this brand, oftentimes they're saying, hey, I know this, I've seen this brand before. I understand, I can look and see that there's hundreds of these events every month all across the country. This is a reputable education company. So when we run these ads, you as the advisor gets to stand in front of this audience, whether it's in person or virtual, and introduce yourself as the local professional that's been selected by Estate Planning 567 to present on this very specific information, this very timely information, because of your expertise in your XYZ day job. So you're able to take that credibility that we've built for the last 6 years of providing sound financial education, and then place that on yourself and say, hey, I am the professional that they selected because I am so credible, because I know so much about these important topics. So it's a little bit different than slapping your face next to a picture of a steak and saying, hey, come in and I'll feed you and give you cheesecake and then you have to meet with me. This is strictly based on the educational credibility of the event and the presenter. So it's a little bit different than every kind of the other companies out there. I do want to take just 1 second to highlight one specific topic that we do. So we do taxes and retirement, Social Security, and estate planning are our top performing topics right now. Estate planning specifically, About 10 to 15% of an estate planning presentation is, this is what a will is, this is what a trust is, this is how you avoid probate. That's about, let's say, 15% of the presentation. The rest of the presentation is how to have a tax efficient generational wealth plan, how to ensure your beneficiaries don't get left out, by having life insurance in place for blended families, or how do you, do a Roth conversion to pass down assets in a tax efficient way. Maybe there's an opportunity for 529s. Really the two sides of the coin, if you will, when it comes down to estate planning is, one, there's wills, there's trusts, there's documents, right? And the other side is everything advisors do in their day job, annuities with death benefits. There's things that you guys do that estate planning attorneys don't. And many of those things you need to address in estate planning, and that's what that topic is about. The real benefit of doing this and getting comfortable with that topic is, one, you're going to stand out from your competition. Everybody wants to talk about taxes. If you asked me 4 years ago, it was Social Security. Everybody wanted to talk Social Security. Nobody would talk taxes because they said, I'm not a CPA. I can't talk taxes. Well, we're running into the same thing right now where advisors say, well, I'm not an estate planning attorney. I don't want to talk about estate planning. And they're thinking about it wrong, right? You have to think about the full picture of estate plan, and that's having a solid financial plan. But anyway, this topic allows you to stand out from your competition. It also brings in the highest average net worth of any of the topics that we run. You may be focused on, okay, well, if you have $11 million in assets or more, these rules apply to you. Someone with $4 million doesn't know that, so they're still going to attend these seminars and these webinars. So if you're looking to stand out, you're looking to be the advisor educating kind of a blue ocean of high quality prospects, definitely look into estate planning. Even if you don't use White Glove, it's definitely something to look into. And IAMS and White Glove are working together with Legacy Lock as well to create a presentation and marketing that all coincides with the Legacy Lock platform. So if you've heard about that before, if you're using Legacy Lock, then IAMS has a special arrangement with White Glove and Legacy Lock to provide a presentation that matches our marketing. So as far as the actual slides go, when it comes to a presentation, we don't care what you use. Now, it's not that we don't care. We're very agnostic to do you use a blue PowerPoint slides, or do you use yellow PowerPoint slides? Do you use a tax graph, or do you use a tax buckets, image? We don't really care. What we care about is that the people that attend your events hear what we told them they're going to hear. That's number one. Number two is that you are comfortable with your presentation. You're never going to convert attendees if you're not comfortable with your presentation. So we want to be very, very flexible with that. If you have a presentation from, IAMS or your carrier, or, a BD or an RIA that already has approved presentations that you can use, you can absolutely use that as long as it aligns. If you need one, you've never used a presentation before, we can hook you up with pretty significant discounts from, we have great partners such as Horse's Mouth. They're a wonderful company to work with. But we want you to be comfortable with it. You're not going to get comfortable if we dictate every single slide that you have to use, but we will assist you in every way possible to make sure that you get that presentation and that you're comfortable and you present a high converting seminar. All we want you to do, show up, have some fun, connect with your audience. That's the only reason to do seminars or webinars, is so you can connect with your audience. And we don't want you focused on anything else. We want you Mick Jagger, right? You walk out on stage, play the show, the crowd goes wild, you walk off, make millions of dollars. That's what we want to set up for you. We'll book the arena, we'll sell all the tickets, we'll do all the sound checks for you. You just walk out on stage and give that presentation, and White Glove will do absolutely everything else. For those advisors that don't necessarily have a robust CRM or drip sequence put in place, we also offer conversion campaigns that come in after your seminar or webinar. These are phone calls, emails, and texts. It lasts 45 days, and it's all designed to get more appointments out of those people that either didn't show or didn't book an appointment right away with you. So we'll handle that for you. There's a human being on the White Glove team that runs that for you, and that's able to get bolted onto seminars or webinars. So that's all the work that we do. If you can kind of get the big picture that we want you focused on your clients. We want you focused on talking to prospects. We don't want you being an event planner. We don't want you cobbling together CRMs and marketing systems and social media stuff. We're going to do all of that stuff for you. But I think probably the thing that makes us the most unique is that we actually take all of the marketing risk as well. You don't pay anything until after your seminar or webinar, and you only pay for those households that actually attended. So you're paying for butts in the seats, for lack of a better term. We handle all of the marketing costs. We pay for the venue up front. Again, like I mentioned earlier, that's just a straight cost. If the library costs $50, we charge you $50. But you pay for our performance. You know, you don't get paid on your efforts, and neither do we. And we think it's kind of a shame that most other vendors out there get paid for their efforts. We want to get, we really want to stand shoulder to shoulder with you and get paid on actual results. And we know you can't have those unless you stand in front of somebody. So we actually guarantee those. So we're going to take all the financial risk up front, but we actually guarantee that you're going to get registrations at no risk. It's our marketing dollars that are going to be spent. You get attendees at no risk because you're protected by bad weather or traffic or poor attendance for some other crazy reason. But more than that, we actually guarantee that you're going to pick up a new client when you start working with White Glove. If you purchase 50 households with us, which is about 3 to 4 seminars, which is what we see as the magic number, you know, to get people rolling after that 3rd or 4th seminar with us, our reorder rate is over 90%. So if you commit to that, but you don't pick up a client, we're going to help you in every single way possible, whether that's putting you through White Glove University, inviting you to our in-person trainings like our host university, or connecting with a coach, and then we're going to do another event for you for free. We know that we can deliver quality to the room, and we know that advisors see success with the system. So we are very confident to kind of put our money where our mouth is. And if you don't see success after 50 households, we're going to give you another event absolutely for free. So it all sounds too gosh darn good to be true, but this is how much it costs. So very easy to set up your budget. This is per paid attended, or you pay per attended household, I should say. So a man and a wife, just the man, one buying unit, if you will. So you're not paying per person, you're not paying per registrant, you're paying per attended household. And we don't make any more or less money on any of these events. You know, an in-person seminar at a library or community center to talk about estate planning, that's harder for us to fill than a Medicare seminar that you offer dinner. You know, and that's how kind of this pricing works. So if it's harder for us to fill, it costs us more money to fill, well, then it's a little bit more expensive. But you can also think about, you know, the quote unquote quality or the average assets of the attendee is pretty well correlated to this. If you're going to do a food event, you're going to offer, or you're going to teach about Social Security, you're going to do a food event, you're going to get a little bit more of a mixed bag of attendees than if you were to do a library event where you're talking about significant wealth passed down to future generations with no food. You know, not a lot of broke people are going to go spend, you know, an hour of their time driving to and from a community center, another hour of their time sitting and listening how to protect their significant wealth and pass it to future generations if they don't have significant wealth. So we see very high quality with the taxes in retirement and also the estate planning events. But that's how much it costs. So you can set your lead budget. You tell us how many households you want there. It's not White Glove just packing out the room and blowing your budget. You say, I want 20 households. If 17 show up, you only pay for those 17 and you pay after your event. That allows you to shorten that lead cycle as well. You know, how normally the industry works is you pay for your mailer over here, you know, 6 weeks after that, you have your event, 6 weeks at, you know, 9 weeks after that, you make a client. This White Glove model, you're paying the day after your event. So you're shortening that lead cycle between event and client to see that ROI. And that's something that we're pretty happy to do, and we're very confident. And when you talk to us, you're really working with a marketing consultant as opposed to a salesperson that's just trying to sell you another mailer or sell you another mail drop. We're actually going to look into your area and say, hey, this is what we think could work. But we want to be that one-stop shop so you don't have to go cobble together all these different services and build something that you think will work. Just let us run it because we know what works. We've done 30,000 plus of these, including 5,000 webinars. So if you want to get in front of new prospects, we aim to be that solution to say, yep, we got it. go back to your day job. Everything that we do when we're planning events is fueled by actual data. It's not us guessing what marketing message will work. It's not us guessing about what type of venue will work. We have 7+ years of this data because we were behind the scenes building all this stuff a full year before we rolled it out to the rest of the world. And interestingly enough, the founders of White Glove still use the exact same secret sauce, if you will, to build their firm and fuel their new sub reps as we offer out to every other advisor. They're using the same marketing, the same landing pages, the same venue selections that we pick. They use exactly what we tell them to use, and they are seeing success. That's how they've got to that, near $1 billion of assets. And it's all based on absolute data because we run those ad sets through those educational brands, because we're paying attention to things that other marketing companies don't, right? We get paid based on attendance, so that we are so data hungry that we pay attention to every single thing. Like, did the text message going out at 4 o'clock work better than the text message going out at 6 o'clock? These are things that we pay attention to that other companies, just because of their payment model, don't have to worry about. That being said, it never benefits anybody to put another event in a saturated area. So what we'll do is we use our data to say, hey, this is what's available. This is what we can fill. This is what we know will work. And then we just sell that as first come, first serve. We don't sell territories. You never have to pay for a zip code with us. All you're going to do is say, hey, if there's 20 households of estate planning available this month, the first advisor that says, I want that, they get it. And you can book out a full year in advance. If exclusivity is important to you, you can buy all of that inventory and no one else can use this in that area. You get everything. But you also can just book out a full year in advance, get your marketing set up, get your plan set up, and then you don't have to worry about results or when's my next event or anything like that, because we're going to take care of all of that for you. We really aim to be that consultant. So I know I promised a special offer. IAMS never lets me do any of these things without giving you guys the best deal in the world. They are true advocates for their advisors. I love working with IAMS. So what we are going to offer is 20% off your first order, 40 to 60 households. It's about a $4,000 savings from that first set of events. It doesn't have to be in the same event. Many advisors break this up into three different deployments. And on top of that, if you do reach out today, we are going to get you, and you end up working with us. When you place those first orders, we're going to give you a full year of that White Glove University training. So you can immediately start, watching the seminar best practices from advisors, or learning how to do webinars, that sort of thing. You can actually just click the screen right there if you want to book a meeting with Heather, or there is her contact information. Shoot her a text or shoot her an email just at her whiteglove.com email address there, and just say, hey, I'm from IAMS. I'm interested in the IAMS special offer, and she can get you set up with a marketing review so she can see what's available in your area today. So thank you very much. I'd love to open it up for some questions, see if there are any. And then one thing that I'd love to just allow IAMS advisors to go to, and we just talked about this morning on their group call, but we are hosting an in-person intensive 2-day seminar training event. This is all advisors teaching other advisors. It's advisors that are seeing massive success with seminars or webinars. It's not a White Glove sales pitch. There's no sponsors allowed. It's just advisors sharing best practices. It's a small event. We host it at our home office here in Birmingham, Michigan. It's just outside of Detroit, and it's on October 4th, and then a half day on the 5th. If you are interested in attending that event, the normal price of that is $699. IAMS advisors, they actually get in for free. So if you are interested in attending that in-person event, I know it's coming up here shortly, but we do have a handful of spots left, and IAMS advisors get in for free because of our relationship with IAMS. So if you want to learn best practices from seminars from guys that are absolutely crushing it, seeing 4-to-1 immediate return on webinars or 23-to-1 on seminars, both of those gentlemen will be speaking, and both of those gentlemen attended a host university in the past, and it changed their business to the success that they're seeing today. And we waive tuition completely for IAMS advisors. They get in for free. Normal price is $699. you could shoot Heather a message on that too and just say, hey, you know what, I want to attend Host University. That's what's called, because you're hosting events with us. So we call our clients hosts. But if you're interested in that, if you want that 20% deal, shoot Heather a quick email, text, or reach out to your IAMS representative and they can get you in contact with White Glove. We have a lot of special offers that are exclusive to IAMS agents, with the legacy lock, the free tickets to Host University, and now the 20% off. We really appreciate the partnership. And one thing that IAMS does really well is support their advisors. They know that this is a relationship business, and that if you don't see success, that you're not gonna stick with them. And more than a lot of the groups that we work with, I see that dedication out of the IAMS team, and they really know their stuff. And so I appreciate the partnership, and I appreciate you guys having us on today. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Hey, Brad, looks like you did an excellent job of presenting, so I'm not seeing any questions. I did toss up that last poll for those of you who'd like to get some more information about White Glove, or you can also reach out to Heather Wilson and she'll get you rolling there as well. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We really appreciate it. We look forward to working with you over here at IAMS and utilizing White Glove's phenomenal no upfront cost seminar services to you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.